how our society is ran, that's going to have a larger impact on just us as a whole. So I just want us to stay focused. I want us to really understand that this is it. This is an important moment. I know I went off on a tangent in terms of Black American culture and why people hate Black American culture, but this is one of the roots of why people are attacking us and why people come at us, because they know our power and they're trying to stop us at every point.
Ooh, hey man, that's getting good, because you are 100% right, because during this time, right, everything is like polarized. Whether are you with Drake, are you with Kendrick, are you with Biden, are you with Trump, right? And I would see from scrolling, everybody's like, it's a distraction, all of this with Kendrick and Drake. However, I'm like, this to me shows me us right now, how people feel, right? Our political climate, how people feel about society, all of those things, right? That same consciousness that you have right now, right? How can we apply that and learn from what's going on right now and apply those same things, how everybody's riding with Kendrick for being for the culture, for the people when it comes to voting, being in those booths in the communities as well?
Yeah, no, I wrote a piece, article, and thanks to alluding to that article, basically comparing the Drake versus Kendrick battle to a political debate, Biden versus Trump. Like rap feuds are basically political debates where we use elections in terms of in our society. Elections are ways that we correct our culture. If we see something that's going bad, then we look to candidates to be our leaders to correct whatever is happening in society to make some form of correction.
Right.
That's our political system. In terms of hip hop, with this Kendrick and Drake situation, I think it's the same way. Now, there are some rap beefs that just shouldn't really get mentioned because it's just stupid, just idiot. It's just like, you shouldn't mention them. But I thought the Kendrick and Drake rap battle had a bigger impact in terms of what they represented for the culture. And I talked about this in our first interview, where it's like Kendrick represents almost someone who's more cerebral. When you hear a Kendrick lyric, you may have to pick up a dictionary. You may have to go back and actually study some of the lyrics.
Look some things up.
Over the last 2 weeks, I haven't heard people decipher lyrics in a way where it was like, I haven't heard this in years, where it's like, oh, Kendrick said this when he did this. And I'm talking about people are creating essays on Kendrick's lyrics. And we haven't had that in hip hop in a long time, where people are actually deciphering what this guy is saying, the quadruple entendres and how one lyric can mean several different things. I mean, there've been whole short documentaries on YouTube. There've been essays on prominent stations. I mean, it's been covered by ABC News, CNN. It's been covered by every single major platform. And all of this wasn't happening a couple of years ago. And I don't think you can do the same thing with Drake. Now, Drake has a few subtle bars where it's like he's witty. But I don't think you have to pick up a dictionary and
actually study what
he's saying and kind of to figure it out. I think Drake makes it plain and simple. If you want to hear, you want to have fun, you understand what Drake's saying the first time. Whereas with Kendrick, it took people a week to really dissect Euphoria. Jeez. Like, people are still coming up with things about Euphoria. And it's crazy. Yesterday, I actually discovered something else about Euphoria that was kind of tied into this whole thing. So a few weeks before the whole thing jumped off, Emma Thurman, she tweeted to Drake, "Hey, do you need my suit, my Kill Bill suit?" Because Drake,
you're going against all these people.
Yeah, you're going against all these people. So Drake is like, it's 20 versus 1, and so Emma Thurman, who starred in Kill Bill, she tweets, "Hey, do you need my suit?" And it was a funny, tongue-in-cheek type thing, and she's like, alluding to Kill Bill, and so what's interesting is that if you listen to the first part of Euphoria, Kendrick references the movie Kill Bill.
Wow.
So if you saw Kill Bill, there's a part where Emma, I forgot her character's name, but she meets Bill. They're sitting there facing off, and so Bill shoots her with a truth sermon. And so the truth sermon is something where he calls her a liar. He's like, "Yo, you manipulative," and then he shoots her with the truth sermon. And then he's just talking to her. He's like, "Yeah, your superpowers are dwindling." You know what I'm saying? He's just talking to her. He's like, just kind of breaking everything down. And he was like, "Yo, after I shoot you with this, you're gonna have a brief moment of euphoria. And so, so Kendrick tied this whole Kill Bill thing
all together.
And so it's like,
that's different.
And it's and if you listen to Kendrick in that first like 30 seconds of euphoria, he's almost, it's almost the same monologue that Bill had in Kill Bill, where he's like talking to him like, look, you a liar, you manipulative.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. How it's just flowing together.
And I hit you with the truth sermon, so now you're gonna have to tell the truth.
Wow.
So Kendrick is that's what I'm saying about this dude is using layers and making you pay attention to the music. And that's something that we haven't really had. In terms of hip hop in a long time. And so I'm very appreciative of that. So, yeah, just getting back to that political, that correlation to the political side of it. Drake and Kendrick, they kind of represent how we're gonna correct hip hop. Now that Kendrick has won, the biggest question is, are other rappers coming up next gonna try to emulate him in terms of how they create music? Because for a long time you could create music, and hip hop, that's, like I say, it's very disposable. You can listen to it one time, you got it, and you can throw it away. You don't have to study it. You don't have to really do any homework. There's no substance. And so I think now, hopefully, with Kendrick being the victor, more people will follow him in terms of where hip hop is going. And so I think that's kind of how this hip hop feud relates to politics, because Biden and Trump is going to be doing the same thing. Like I said they're going to be mudslinging. They're going to be talking bad about each other. It's going to get real nasty. Like, they're going to really attack each other's character into November. It's going to get real nasty. And so we see this. There's a correlation between this. I think hip hop at some point needs to be corrected. We have to correct itself in a sense. And I think Kendrick went a roundabout way of doing it by going at Drake and kind of what Drake represents in terms of music. And so I think it ties in together. I think when it comes to hip hop, I think hip hop and politics, they mirror each other. I think hip hop is a microcosm of society as a whole.
Yes, sir. Man, what you said, it sparked something, because where do we go from here? I thought about Martin Luther King, right? One of his speeches that sometimes gets swept underneath the rug. And I feel like with Kendrick, that was his like I have a dream moment where everybody's there. It'll be etched in history. Everybody will know where we were when we heard all the diss tracks. But it's like, what's next? Kendrick, as we know, is very calculated. And I don't think Kendrick is going to mishandle this moment, because now he has the world's attention. Where do you think that he'll go from here, from this standpoint?
Well, it's like right now, Kendrick is playing with the house money. So he can pretty much do anything. Like, he's up now. And so he can put out. I think he has another album that he's probably going to put out soon, maybe next month or July. He has the hottest song of the summer.
Already.
Not like this. It's already the hottest song of the summer. People gonna be dancing all summer to this bop. And so Kendrick is playing with the house money, but I think, like I say, Kendrick is so cerebral. Like, whatever he does is going to be intentional.
That's right.
And every album that he's put out has had some type of concept to it.
That's right.
And it'll be interesting to see what this concept is now. Like, what does he lean into now? And I'm just intrigued on like you say, where he goes next. In terms of Drake, like I said, I think Drake really needs to like go away for a minute.
Dang.
I think he needs to sit down for a minute.
He in Turks right now. That's what they're saying.
He needs to be like. I mean, but maybe not Turks.
Yeah. He needs to stop going to Turks and Caicos. So
he might not need to go there, but he needs to really just separate himself. From everything. Because
it's a tough L, man.
It's an L, and like tough. I say, he really has to really like do some soul searching with himself. There's a lot of people, a lot of fans, like they're trying to defend him online, and it's like people are really
shout out to Maul, man. I saw Maul's
response. It's like he's about to have an aneurysm.
OVO Maul.
trying to defend this guy. It's just like, I'm like, Drake didn't even defend himself that hard. Like, I mean, if Drake had that type of passion on the Heart Part 6,
the Heart Part 6
was just.
He sounded a little
Oh
defeated.
my God, he was defeated. When I heard it, I was like, "This is over."
AR, I'm gonna be honest. When I first heard it, I was like, "This has to be fake. Lord, please let this be
Thought
AI."
it was AI.
I was like, "Bro, this cannot be real, bro."
It was AI-ish in terms of
it was.
It was
like very
bland.
flat, emotionless. It was damage.
It was
control.
like he was defending himself.
He should have just kept it though.
He should have kept it.
Yep.
He was defending
It made
himself.
it worse.
And it was just like, I got, it was kind of like he knew he lost.
Mm.
And it was just like, I have to do something because I know I've already lost. And it was like, he had emptied out all his chamber. He emptied all his chamber.
It was Family Matters.
Family Matters was,
the red button.
Was everything. That was his nuclear weapon.
Kendrick eliminated
it. So I don't know if y'all remember Scud missiles. So Scud.
It neutralized the threat.
Yeah. Back when they had the Scud missiles in the Desert Storm back in the 90s, they had the Scud missiles would basically intercept all the missiles, and that's what it was. It was like that was Family Matters was his all. Like that was
It was 7 minutes.
It was 7 minutes. It was 3 beat changes.
Yeah, so that's 3 songs.
It was a video. He had you could tell he took his time with it.
Mm.
And then, like I say, Kendrick stepped on it. And I do believe Kendrick had somebody in Drake's camp to feed him, because he knew, and a lot of the lyrics reflected some of the things that he was talking about in Family Matters. So I think Kendrick had heard Family Matters before he dropped Meet the Grams. Just the rollout. It just seems like, he had already heard this.
Yeah.
He probably had already seen the video, because he was prepared. 20 minutes after, Kendrick
too calculated.
You gotta think about it. Kendrick releases albums once every 3 years.
He's never dropped this much.
He's never dropped this much.
He gave us 5 songs in 2 weeks?
5 songs in 2 weeks, and it was like, we haven't had this much music from Kendrick, I don't think ever. So, it just, I don't know, it just shows you that this dude can, if he really puts his mind to it, this dude can really just kill it.
You called it.
But I think, I don't know. I really think Drake should just step back for a minute. But he probably won't. He's probably going to try to release another song. Like he had this tweet, summer bops coming.
Yeah, it's just, again, tone deaf. Like you said, nobody care about the bops.
Nobody cares about the bops.
Yeah.
But it's just like, dude, it's just like, But I tell you one thing, we talking now. This Diddy situation just happened. So I think
you were just talking about that.
Someone said that the happiest person of this whole thing is Drake, because unfortunately this Diddy situation is going to take the pressure off of Drake for at least a weekend. Because every single day he was just catching it. Yeah. Since Kendrick dropped Not Like Us, every single day people have been on Drake. They've been coming out with more receipts, and they found out that he lied about what was in the Heart Part 6, saying that he set Kendrick up. Yep. He's like, yeah, I set you up.
And then too, he lied about Kendrick being molested as a child. He got that mixed up with that being his mom, so he wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah, he got that mixed up. So it's like you're not even paying attention to the stuff you're putting out. Yeah. You lying, saying that you fed Kendrick information, and it came out that you lied, and it's
getting worse, man. When you going down the track list.
Then the guy on Twitter who released the video of the album cover that Kendrick used for Meet the Grams.
Yep. With the pills.
With the pills, with the Ozempic, and and so
Drizzy.
So it's just like he's being caught with lies on every this thing went terribly bad for him, and. I don't think he thought that this was going to go this far. Yeah. And like I told you when we talked, I said he needs to stop because it's only going to get worse. Yeah. And it got progressively worse that weekend.
We couldn't even imagine how bad it could have got, man. AR, this conversation, man, it was filled with substance. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Probably got 1 to 2 more questions on the way out, man. From seeing our pulse of the community, of the culture on social media, and also in person, right? Yeah. It feels like people feel as though, especially us in Black America, that Kendrick is like our champion. And I think that this showed me a lot that our people are tapped in. People actually went against who and what was popular towards, all right, this actually has substance. And seeing how many people sided and supported Kendrick showed me a lot. Like, wow, people might be actually ready now for substance. Why do you think Black America, especially Black America, sides with Kendrick so heavy and just champions him right now over the popular people's choice of a Drake?
Well, it just goes back to what Drake has become. I think, like I said, I think early Drake, you know, so far gone, like, I mean, Drake really had some, you know, he was very sincere, and you kind of, yeah, you know, he was an outsider, but I didn't really feel like he was like trying to steal in the sense where he is now in terms of co-opting cultures just to stay relevant.
Right.
And so once Kendrick shined a light on all of Drake's deficiencies, we saw that, yo, this guy probably isn't like us. He probably doesn't really understand our culture the way we thought he did, or maybe we want him to. Yeah. Considering that he's such a prolific artist. Right. And, you know, being the top selling rapper, we would want someone who's a top selling rapper to have that type of substance within them, but he just doesn't. He's just not equipped with it. Yeah. Whereas Kendrick he's equipped with it all. He's had several anthems. You know, when people doing the George Floyd protest, they were playing Kendrick.
Yeah.
You know,
that's true. That's
we gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like our, you know, Negro spiritual. Like,
it spoke to the people.
Yeah, it spoke to the people, and it was something that we could all get behind, and like, yo, we gonna be all right. Yeah. And during those George Floyd protests, people were bumping Kendrick from Atlanta to LA to,
that's an excellent point.
From a global standpoint, people were playing Kendrick Lamar during the most crucial moment of our generation in terms of race relations. Yeah. They weren't playing Drake. They were playing Kendrick Lamar. And so that just shows you how he's touched our community in ways that Drake hasn't.
That's right.
I don't even know if Drake wants to touch our community in that way.
That's a whole nother conversation within itself.
That's a whole other conversation. If he wants to even...
It might not even be his goal. That might not even be
on his mindset to even touch the community the way that Kendrick has. I mean, he's basically taunted Kendrick for being like that. Dang. You know what I'm saying? He's taunted Kendrick for like being someone who's like for the people and doing things of that nature. Yeah. So yeah, I think of course the you know, the people who listen to lyrics, the people who have some sense of education, they're gonna side with Kendrick. You know, a lot of people who just like the club bangers and like to just have fun and chill, they may side with Drake. But I think it's opposing views from both sides. That's where it's like one guy represents one thing, one guy represents the other thing. Yep. And who should we all follow? And well, who should the culture follow? That's right. And I think Kendrick made a good point of you should follow him. But at the same time, I'm not sure if Kendrick wants us to follow him, because on Mr. Morales and the Big Steppers, he said, I'm not your savior. You know,
listen, I respect that though.
You gotta respect it. He's like, I got flaws too. I'm not
just like you.
Yeah, I'm just like you. I'm not your savior. So it's like he's broken it down on all levels. Like, yeah, you can like the music, you can like all this, but pay attention to who you follow at all times, and you know,
follow the message, not the messenger.
Follow the message, not the messenger. And so, yeah, I just think Kendrick, from an overall standpoint, more complex. Yeah. Someone who actually understands the culture, understands what's needed in the culture, more so than a Drake. And like I say, I don't think you have to choose between the two. I think you can like both artists. You can listen to Drake and you can listen to Kendrick. But I think if it comes to substance and it's something, okay, that I know that's gonna feed my soul, I'm gonna listen to Kendrick.
Yeah.